This is the Coin Show Podcast. The show about coins and coin collecting. And not just any show. This is the #1 coin collecting podcast. Going 10 years strong. Here's Matt Dinger and Mike Nottelmann on the Coin Show Podcast.
It is episode 178 of the Coin Show Podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And on this episode, we are going to talk about what's going on around the shop. We're going to check out some of the cool stuff that Matt is sporting, his nice Coin Show t-shirt tonight. We've got some announcements for future casts that are coming up.
Yep.
A little something on our monthly giveaway.
Yep.
I'm going to absolutely drop the microphone on Matt in our coolest thing contest.
I don't know. I got a good one too.
Okay, we'll see what happens. And you know what? The votes go where they may. So look, I could have the coolest thing ever. And if the listeners don't think so, it really doesn't matter.
That's exactly right.
That's right. So completely out of our control. But first, as always, the news.
Now this is my favorite part of the show. And probably the part where you forgot to get your
Well, I think that's your favorite part of the show.
sponsor. Well, no, I have a new music for this. So when you forget to have a sponsor ready, I'm just going to play this.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, right?
That's great. I like that.
Yeah.
That's almost like Girl from Ipanema-ish.
No,
you know?
it's the elevator music. So when you're just kind of
Well, that's the whole thing.
waiting.
Is I'm thinking about the whole Girl from Ipanema elevator music. So you got the
Right, that's the point. So
yeah. So that's fun.
So who's the news brought to you by tonight?
Well, the news is brought to us by Spoons. Try eating your soup with a fork and knife, and you'll know why. Spoons, the essential utensil since the dark ages.
Spoons. I love it. I love it.
Look, they really have that motto, the essential utensil. They went for it.
It's a good one. It's marketing
Yeah,
at its
you gotta like
finest.
that one. Yes, marketing at its absolute finest. So let's see. So now we have episode 178 in the news. The United States Mint has released the final America the Beautiful $2 January 4th, closing out the series.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I kind of figured you'd be really saddened to see this go. So the coin honors the Tuskegee Airmen National Park and is one of two $2 to be released in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, it's a coin that I kind of like, being a World War II buff. It's got the T-51s on it. It's pretty cool.
I like it. I absolutely love the Tuskegee Airmen design, and yeah, why not? And I thought it was very odd that the government would run this in a 5-a-year set, knowing that there would be this one odd coin at the end of it. But I just think they really didn't think it out.
I just think they didn't really care all that much.
No, one or the other. Now, I kind of miss the old quarter obverse, but not for long.
That's right.
Because the Washington crossing the Delaware reverse will make its debut on April 5th of 2021. Now, surprisingly, no plans for any changes to the $2 beyond the 2021 edition have been announced.
Good. Leave it alone for a while. Please, leave it alone.
It would be difficult to imagine the Mint giving up their biggest cash cow.
Yeah,
But nothing in government should surprise you.
especially these days.
Yeah, especially how dangerously close things have been pushed lately towards the last minute.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems to be a government budgetary staple, but this year it's kind of like the procrastination was oozing from every governmental pore.
Right.
I'll put my soapbox away. The first 2020 Mint offerings are now available. So the U.S. Mint Birth Set and the Happy Birthday Coin Set were released to the general public on January 5th at noon. The sets both contain the same 5 proof coins. It's just different packaging. So there's a proof Kennedy half, one of the America the Beautiful quarter program's coins. So that's going to be the Tuskegee Airmen proof.
Right.
1 Roosevelt dime, 1 Jefferson nickel, and 1 proof Lincoln cent, which they actually call a penny in this article.
Oh boy.
The basic difference between the two is the packaging. The birth set features a teddy bear and gender neutral packaging, whereas the happy birthday set centers around a balloon theme.
I didn't even know they were making happy birthday stuff. That's how out of touch with modern U.S. Mint product I am. So,
the happy birthday one, I look, I think it's good marketing to have something that you would just give as a gift item. Yeah, every year, here's a happy birthday. And I particularly like the birth year set because, you can celebrate the year the kid was born. I don't know. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I wish there were better coins in them.
Yeah.
Like a silver eagle, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Just saying.
Yeah, just saying.
The U.S. Mint has released their product schedule for 2021.
Oh, this should be fun to peruse. Let's take a look.
Yeah. So the silver proof sets and the mint uncirculated sets are scheduled for spring.
Wow, that hasn't happened in a couple of years at least.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really cool to kind of look down through the list. It seems like they have most of the stuff accounted for and have front loaded the year as they should. So that as things, come up and come along, there's room to push it back.
Maybe they're getting a hold of things. It seemed like they were kind of having some issues there for a little bit. Now they're getting back on track.
The logistics of trying to figure out how to manufacture this stuff was just a nightmare. You have probably the highest demand of all time for coin. And the fact of people not recycling any of the coin that they're receiving is complicating the situation even further.
Right. I'm just kind of scrolling through here so everybody can get a look at it.
So they've tried, it looks like, they've tried to front load everything. They've got a lot of the stuff coming out before summer, and beyond that, there really isn't hard dates. It's just mostly, this is when it's scheduled, but it's, Let's
look at the to be determined stuff. The American Eagle 1 ounce silver to be determined.
Yep. And the 2020 Coin and Chronicles set for George H.W. Bush.
Yep. The Krista McAuliffe dollars. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Nice
there.
design on the Krista McAuliffe, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be talking more about it as it comes out, but cool.
And with the new schedule comes the annual Purge.
Oh boy.
It's kind of like Hunger Games. This year's Purge has a twist.
Yeah.
If you want them, the price just went up.
That doesn't seem to make sense.
Brutal, like the 2018 American Innovation Dollar rolls from $32.95 to $34.95 for a 25 coin roll.
Right.
Not so bad. To the 2018 S-Proof Innovation Dollar coin, which goes from an already steep $6.95 for a single coin to $11.50.
You would think. I mean, don't most companies, when they want to get rid of things that are like, from last season, don't they put them on sale? I don't understand raising the price.
Get through saying that this is the government.
Well, I mean, I get that, but do they just not work like every other business on the planet?
Nope.
Is that okay?
I mean, why would you raise the price on a 2019 mint set?
Exactly. That's my point.
How many are they still selling each month? How many are there left?
Who knows? Who knows? But that's what I'm saying. You want to get rid of this stuff. They don't want to keep it around, obviously. They're trying to sell it. So why don't you lower the price a little bit? Get rid of it.
That's the thing. You can't be the seller, the wholesaler, the middleman, and the retailer. You just can't be all of those things.
It's just so weird. It blows my mind. As somebody that runs a business, this hurts my brain.
Well, I think this is typical of lack of vision. And look, now that we have a new mint director, it looks like things are coming around, that they're changing.
Right.
This is definitely something that they haven't tried in the past. So maybe it's just hey, what's going to happen if we just dump this stuff out into the marketplace?
But they've never cared about the marketplace.
No, they really haven't. Well, apparently they do now because they're raising the price on this stuff.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So, outside of the United States news, 2020 was the year of the mouse or the year of the rat, whichever you prefer. And either way, I am glad that the rodent is gone.
Yes.
This year is the year of the ox in the Chinese lunar calendar. And for me, it's a welcome change. New year, new coins.
That's right. New year, new you.
Yeah, new year, new you. So the Perth Mint has done it again, in my humble opinion. The 2-ounce antique silver year of the ox coin is bound to be another sellout. The reverse design of the nearly 41 millimeter coin is absolutely beautiful, but uses not a single word.
Yeah, it's just some cows and a bird and some mountains and the trees.
Just an image of an ox and a calf in an antique finish that really does kind of enhance the look of this design.
It does not do a thing to help Her Majesty out, though. Good
Lord.
Lord.
Her Majesty is depicted in all her glory. So, I mean, that means automatically both sides have fantastic eye appeal.
She's antiqued. I guess that's
me. So
I guess that's just, par for the course.
But here's the reason I think it sells out. A mintage of 1,888 coins.
Well, yeah, there you go.
So I think it should be easy to find 2,000 people who want one.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're probably right.
And this is the point where you probably figure out that I wrote this after watching the Bears game. On the Bureau of Engraving and Printing side of the Year of the Ox, the U.S. issues a $1 Federal Reserve note every year with a serial number that starts in 8888.
Yep.
The number 8 is considered lucky in Chinese culture. And even though the U.S. is offering basically a regular $1 bill, albeit one with a fancy serial number and packaging to accompany it, the BEP has announced that the Year of the Ox notes will be delayed, likely until February. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, typically the lucky notes are issued at the end of the previous year for distribution at or near New Year's Day. So this will be like the equivalent of an Easter basket in August. Just cancel it. I mean, really?
Right. Whoa. Hey there, myself. That's weird.
Applications for the A&A College Scholarship Program must be submitted by March 12th.
Okay.
So this fund was created in 2014 to help graduating high school seniors who are also A&A members with a stipend of $1,000 to use for books, tuition, or related supplies. Up to 2 scholarships are awarded each year. But here's the thing, is that students who maintain a full schedule and a B average throughout their postgraduate studies may be able to receive the scholarship for up to 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the gift that keeps giving. And all you have to do is pay attention, get good grades, show up.
Yeah, I guess you can't argue with that.
Yeah, so, this is probably one of the best A&A programs, in my opinion, that there is, because this is just enrichment of its members, period, in any way they choose.
I like it.
Collectors and dealers are being warned about an online coin seller who uses the name C Ting.
Okay.
So the Anti-Counterfeiting Task Force has identified the seller on Amazon.com as selling reproductions of coins and fantasy dates. Now, none of the reproductions were marked copy as mandated by the Hobby Protection Act. Items included a 1794 flowing hair dollar, an 1804 bust dollar, sure, no problem with that, and a 1915 $2.50 Indian.
Well, that's interesting, I'd say. I mean, it seems like that stuff's been going on for a while, though.
Is there a 1915 $2.50?
Yes, I believe there is.
Okay. The article says half eagle, but then enumerates it as 2.5, not a 5. So I trust their understanding of numbers might be better than their understanding of the term half eagle.
Well,
so I'm just going to guess a 2.5.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
This is more angry after Bears news. I can't help it.
Poor guy. It's all right. We lost 2. It's all
after that game.
right.
And finally in the news, when we last checked on our favorite piece of legislation, the law creating peace in Morgan dollars for 1921, the act passed the House on September 22nd, passed the Senate on December 17th, and was presented to the president on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
But a failure to sign the bill by January 6th would mean the same as a veto, since Congress will have adjourned on January 3rd.
Well, here I get a song.
But wait.
Oh.
Coin Collector's blog has reported that a message has been transmitted to Congress that the president signed H.R. 6192, along with several other bills that were received on December 24th.
Wait a minute. So it's good to go? We're ready to rock? Hold on. I'm going to open this link. Let's look at it. Introduced, passed House, passed Senate, to President, became law. Awesome. There we go.
So it looks like they made it, but just under the wire. And according to Coin Collector's blog, the GPO will likely publish the news of this before the White House releases the information. I think that's the General Press Office.
Yeah.
I don't care. We have our peace dollars, even if physics might make them change the law.
So we're getting $2021. It's over to
Morgan dollars and peace dollars in not less than 90% silver.
Oh my.
Yeah. That's way beyond oh my.
That's big news, my friend.
That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm looking really forward to it. Now, the bad side of this is this. There's still a way for them to mess this up. Okay, with making him the wrong size or something like that. We'll have to see what happens. But at least we know that the designs are pretty well, already set. And just the year is going to change. So they're actually going to be, 2021 peace dollars and 2021 Morgans.
I am so excited about this.
Yeah, this is going to be just so awesome. And, so I'm looking forward to it, but I think they're going to do a number of different finishes on them. And that worries me.
Well, of course they are. It's the mint. They've been doing 12 finishes on everything they put out. So
yeah, and 15 mint marks.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah. So that was the news. And the news tonight was brought to us by Spoons. Spoons, try eating your soup with a fork and knife, and you'll know why. Spoons, the essential utensils since the Dark Ages.
Spoons.
You're listening to the Coin Show Podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nottelmann.
Sorry, I jumped on you there. My fault.
No, that's okay. I mean, I was done for all the purposes of anybody wanting to listen.
Especially me. Wait, what? No.
Wow, shots fired today. So what's been going on with your shop, bro?
Well, we're just getting back into the swing of things. We got past our COVID deal. We just took a little time off over the holidays to get back on track, and we finally got her back open 2 days a week. So there's that.
Okay, but you were sick last week.
I was. I didn't have the coronavirus, but I did have a chest cold, and I'm sure you guys would not have liked sitting here listening to me hack up a lung for the whole show. So I decided
I think I might have.
I decided to spare all of you and just postpone the show a week. So it happens.
Yeah. So hey, look, that was the first week we've taken off in probably 8 months.
Yeah. I mean, it just is what it is. Sometimes you get sick, and
yes, life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans.
That's right. But yeah, no, the store's good. We're just chugging along. Just trying to get back into the swing of things. Still just kind of in a holding pattern on the hours until things either calm down or get somewhat back to normal. And other than that, just doing a lot of internet stuff. Been pounding away on the website and on eBay. So
yeah, it has been just so dead.
Yeah.
It seems to me that the loop in Chicago is starting to come back to life. So there is a large contingent of the people that work in the city of Chicago that are working from home now or working remotely. They're working from somewhere.
I think that's the one thing that's going to come out of this whole experience is there's going to be more people that find out that, hey, I can actually do my entire job from home.
Well, I think there's a lot of companies.
Well, that's what I was going to say, and that's the
real estate costs money.
Yes, for sure.
So there's going to be a lot that comes of it from that perspective. I think that'd be awesome from my perspective because it means fewer cars going into the city. And look, I live in a major city, so I don't know how familiar most people are with Chicago, but Chicago is on a lake. And so because we're on a lake, it's like you've got the lake here and it goes like this, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is that you can come to the city from the north, you can come to the city from the south, or you can come to the city from the west. Okay, but that's it. There's nothing coming from the east or this, so it is more condensed because you're dealing with a semicircle. And so it makes things a little bit more challenging. We've got 4-lane roads that are just packed for miles every morning and every afternoon. And there hasn't been any of that. So it's been kind of nice.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's a perk of this whole situation for you. The commute's better. Yeah, so
absolutely. Yeah. And so we have just been trying to beat, the boredom, trying to figure out, what we can do productively with our time. Right now, I'm kind of dealing with trying to figure out eBay managed payments.
Oh, good luck. It's coming, though. We only have a couple more days, and then they're going to require us to do it. So,
well, that's the thing is I've managed to avoid it up until this point.
Yes.
But I got a phone call the other day.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
For you guys that don't sell on eBay, basically eBay is requiring all sellers to get on their managed payment program, which basically is they take the payment, you ship the stuff, after everything is good, then they send you the money. That's basically the gist of it. The problem was the company they were using didn't allow for numismatics to be paid for in this particular manner. So it was a big kind of like up in the air situation between eBay and then their new payment management company.
We were hoping we were going to fall between the cracks.
Right, and it seems like they've gotten it figured out, and they finally told us, between January 15th and January 25th, you have to do it, or all of your stuff's going to get pulled down. And the problem was people that did it early, that because the payment company didn't have the numismatics things figured out, they were seeing all of their coin listings just disappear. eBay was killing them all because they were basically in violation of the agreement that they had set up with that company. So hopefully that doesn't continue once we switch over, because that would be a gigantic pain in the butt.
Oh, smooth sailing all the way. I have a feeling.
I'm nervous. I'm real nervous, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, you do a lot of business on eBay, so me and my 6 or 7 items are not really going to hurt anything.
Yeah, but, I don't want my like 1,000 items to disappear and have to redo them.
Yeah,
that would suck.
So I mean, to me, it's just look. eBay figured out a way to charge the guy who buys it. They charge the guy who sells it. They started PayPal. I don't know if they own it anymore.
No, they spun PayPal off. It's a completely
so they did company. That. They figured out how they could be involved in the payment for it. Now they're figuring out a different way to be involved in the payment for it. It's I don't know. It just to me it's like at some point, how much value am I getting for the percentage that you're taking?
Yeah. And it seems to be less and less as time goes on, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's still a way we move a decent amount of product that we normally would move in the store.
Every marketplace has its price. I mean, that's the eBay price, but
it's the necessary evil.
Yeah, and it at one time was just an absolute treasure trove.
Now there were entire companies, and we call them coin factories, but there were entire companies and groups of dealers out there that were just making money hand over fist on eBay. But that was before they started raising fees and just absolutely kind of hammering the sellers a little more than they were now.
Yeah, controlling virtually everything.
Or than that they are now, and they weren't back then. So.
And one of the other things that's been cool that's been going on around our shop is that so we had, we're in the city, we're in the inner city, I hate to use that term inner city. We're in the financial district.
You're downtown.
So yeah, so we're in like the Manhattan of Chicago. We're down in the financial district by all the banks. And so we had a lot of the BLM protests, we had a lot of the, just civil unrest going on. We're a block from City Hall. We are right there. If you ever saw the movie The Blues Brothers, the building that they crash into at the end to make the payment to Daily Center Plaza is right there. All this, it's all right in this one big area. So so we have been kind of reticent. Well, first of all, we had to get a couple of windows replaced, and then we had to put a special coating on the windows now so that they're shatterproof. And so now I'm starting to put things out in the windows again. So this is kind of, for me, this is something I haven't done in a long time. I haven't merchandised windows since I sold shoes as a 20-year-old. So it's been fun though. It's like you get these telemarketer books, that have the story that goes. It's like you could make windows out of those things so easy. You just take a page, post it on the wall. You take one, put it on an easel. You got all these. I've got one window that's Confederate money, Confederate bills. I've got another one that's got all. It's got fractional currency and large cents and obsolete coinage, and then I have one that's got all the just brand new stuff that we've just taken in. So it's like I've been, working on stuff like that, and it's just been fun.
That's something I don't have to deal with, thankfully, is window displays. I don't want anything in my windows.
I honestly think that my boss is very pleased at the fact that nobody has asked me to do any of this.
Wow. Well, there you go. Yeah, you're just kind of jumping on
it by myself. I just jumped on it and started doing it.
Everybody likes an employee that takes initiative and does stuff that nobody else wants to do.
Well, if they do it well.
Yeah, well, if nobody wants to do it, it doesn't really matter how you do it. But
I don't know about that.
Just kidding. Well, let's see what's. I'm sorry.
My numismatic education continues. This week I learned all about sovereigns and 20 franc coins and.
How much gold's in a sovereign, Mike?
It is 0.2354 ounces.
There you go. What about 20 franc?
0.2354 ounces. See? And I don't even deal with world coins. We have somebody that does world coins.
Are you sure 20 francs are 0.2354?
I'm not positive, but I can look it up. It's easy. I thought a 20 franc was the same size as a sovereign.
I thought they were 0.1867.
Oh, actually, you know what? I think you're right. I think they are 0.1867. Yeah. Those are slightly smaller.
Slightly smaller, but there are a lot of coins that go across the European countries that do have the same weights.
And
they were kind of standard trade units.
A lot about equivalency, because the denomination isn't what's important. What's important is that it's gold and it's this big. That's,
right. How much gold's in it? What's it weigh?
Right. That was what it traded for.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, cool. Let's. You want to check in with the people that are watching us live right now? See what they're doing.
Yeah, let's see what they got going on, and then I have.
Oh God.
Well, we should make an announcement about our contest.
Yeah.
And then I have an announcement about a special guest.
Oh boy. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's. Well, here, I'll talk about, while we're giving everybody a chance to type in whatever questions they have over here in the chat, just, wherever you're at, I'll go ahead and make the announcement about the contest. So next live episode, guys, if you are a member of the Friends of the Coin Show group on Facebook, you're automatically entered. We're going to do a drawing for 2021 Silver Eagle from everybody that's a member of that group. So if you haven't joined it yet, join it. Just search Friends of the Coin Show Podcast on Facebook. You'll find the group. We'll let you in, and that's it. You're entered. It's easy. We'll draw.
We're going to do it on the weeks that we do Your Coolest Thing.
Yes. Yep. We'll do it on the weeks that we do Your Coolest Things. We'll draw for it, and we're going to do that every month. And then in December of this coming year, we're going to do it for a 10th ounce gold coin. So I have the stuff pre-ordered already. Obviously, it's not out yet, so I don't have them yet, but I do have them pre-ordered. So we'll be doing that. It's going to be great. I'm excited to finally have some sort of running contest. So
one of our listeners on YouTube has possibly the coolest coin-related handle
okay,
name I've ever seen.
okay.
The Numismaniac.
Well, that's just everybody that collects coins, I think, that really collects them.
But he got to it first.
That's true.
That's awesome.
Oh, so here's a question. Southern Coin asks us, both Matt and Mike, in your own collecting experiences, are you a stacker, a numismatic collector, or a flipper? Well, I started life as a collector. I started as a young kid. I was 10 or 11 years old when I started. I collected for quite a while. Then I started selling coins in my teens on eBay, actually. Bought myself a car with that money and continued. And then by 22, I had a coin shop. And I've been doing that for coming up on 20 years now. So it's a little bit of both. I love coins. I buy a lot of coins all the time. And I nowadays just collect vicariously through everybody else. My customers, I love helping them put their collections.
But you do have a small collection, right?
I have a few things. That I just won't sell. But yeah, but everything's at the right price and the right time. Everything's for sale.
And I'm getting to that ruined point in life. But so I started out as a collector, just I think like everybody does.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I came into the business very much later in life. I did a little bit of flipping, but I was never really a flipper. I mean, I was there for the 2011 5-coin Silver Eagle set. I was there for a couple other things. I took it to shorts on the reverse proof or the enhanced uncirculated set. I took it to shorts on that one, but for the most part, I've been pretty good with my predictions and my selections. But unfortunately, the funds have always been the short end of that. So, now I still have a collection. However, I don't really consider myself much of a collector. I deal with some really, really cool stuff now, and I work in a shop where I see stuff that I could never afford. And once you start dealing in that kind of stuff, the regular, ordinary stuff that you've accumulated kind of loses some of its luster. I mean, there's an appeal that's always going to be there for it, but by the same token, I can't get excited about an 82 no P Roosevelt dime when I'm looking at a 19S 66 plus full split bands Merc.
Yeah. It's hard to get excited about the little stuff when you've had some crazy
but
stuff
you
in your
can still
hands.
appreciate it, and I think that's hopefully something I won't lose. And so now that just makes me, I want to say dealer, but
you're just a jaded dealer like the rest of us, Mike.
I'm not quite jaded yet. Working on it though.
Let's see here. Tim Finrich says, convince me to buy a 2021 Morgan or Peace Tower regardless of the mint's issue price. Go.
Okay, well, this is going to be the first silver dollar issued by the United States Mint in 85 years, 95 years.
The first Morgan or Peace Tower issued by the U.S. Mint.
Well, the first silver dollar issued.
What are you talking about?
1935 was the last one.
Not necessarily. They've issued a bunch. They have silver dollars every year. They have silver eagles. Those are technically silver dollars, but I was saying that the first silver.
This is the renaissance of two of the greatest designs of all time in an actual issue. So
a collectible issue. These coins were struck to be used in commerce. Very, very few proofs were struck in the Morgan Dollar series. Each year had only a few thousand. And in the Peace Tower series, there aren't any. So to get, besides a few kind of special satin strikes and stuff, but, to have the opportunity to potentially get a proof Peace Tower or a proof Morgan Dollar for not thousands of dollars, which is what they cost now, it's not a bad idea. And plus, again, it's the Morgan Silver Dollar is kind of the most iconic American coin, in my opinion. It's the coin that I see the most of. It's the coin that I have the most customers for. So, it's a very, very popular series, and hopefully they do it justice and do it right. Who knows? We'll see what the final.
To you. What do you see as the pitfalls, the things that they have to watch out for as they make these coins?
Well, I would really like it if they were able to kind of reproduce that kind of really pretty cartwheels, those kind of PO cartwheels that we're so used to seeing on Morgan Dollars. I would really like it if they were able to kind of replicate those old surfaces that they used to get, or that they got on those coins. I really don't want it to look like a robot Morgan, like a modern, kind of bubbly, really high relief Morgan dollar, because the Morgans were just kind of a standard relief. There's nothing real crazy about.
But you also don't want the relief to be super shallow, like a lot of the more recent mid issues.
Right. I want it to be as familiar to me as somebody that looks at a lot of Morgans as you can get. So get it as close to the originals as possible. That's what we want. That's what I think most collectors are going to want.
I think that if they are able to create the same similarity between this Morgan and the others as there was from the 1921 to the others. So there are actually two different hubs. If you look at them, you can tell the difference, but they're close enough to where you really, if you didn't know that they were different hubs, you probably wouldn't know.
Right.
And what I'm saying is if they can do that again to where it looks that kind of familiar, I think that, yes, that's what you're looking for.
Well, they were going to make...
One of the pitfalls I see, though, is making the peace dollars in standard relief.
Yeah.
Because the 1921 peace dollar did not have standard relief.
But the rest of them are flat. So it's...
Right. So which way do you make it? The 21s didn't stack, and I honestly don't expect that. So maybe some kind of mid-relief?
I don't know. Like I said, I just hope they get...
Like the Kennedy half?
I want them to get as close to the originals as possible. That's it. Like they were gonna make dollars again in the 60s. They had the hubs done. They had, and they looked identical except for the date.
Both designs too.
Right. They looked identical except for the date, and that's what I want to see. And if they don't do that, I'll be disappointed. And if they don't make them in the exact same size, I'll also be disappointed. If they get the size wrong, it's not what I want to see. As somebody that loves silver dollars, loves Morgans, loves peace dollars, that's what I want to see. And I think most of the people that out there are going to want that same thing. They don't want a reimagined version of the coin. They want a modern issue of the classic coin. Make it look the same.
Now, here is my question for you, because I think there's just so many interesting ways that they could take these coins, right?
I don't want to see a reverse proof, special enhanced finish.
Well, they're going to.
Well, I don't want that.
That wasn't really what I was getting at. What I was thinking is, okay, so a proof Morgan is a normal thing. We've seen that.
Yes.
But there were no proof peace dollars except for the Zerby proofs, and we're not going to get into that.
Yeah,
but
those weren't peace dollars, I don't believe.
Yeah, they were peace dollars. They 1922 peace dollars.
The 22 high relief. Okay, yeah.
Right, the 22 high reliefs. But anyways, they made sandblast proofs.
Yeah, that was what I was referring to too.
And that's what I would think would be really cool to do with this 2021 peace dollars, making it a sandblast. Now they're not going to. It's going to end up being a typical cameo, which to me is going to look odd and out of place.
Do you know why they sandblasted proofs back then?
No.
It made them easier to photograph. So for promotional materials and stuff, they would use those.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they would take an already minted coin and then blast it with beads.
I don't know about how they did it. I know that for the gold coins, though, that's why they would do that, is because it made them more presentable to the photography equipment.
Well, I'm almost positive that they actually did blast the gold coins after they were minted, but the silver ones I'm not sure about.
I don't know either. I just know why they made them.
But very cool.
Yeah. Let's see, what else we got here? V75 Eagles. How can there be a first day issue when they all sell out in 5 minutes? Wouldn't they all be first day issues? That's a very good point. I mean, honestly, that's a great point. They sold out in 5 minutes. They're all first day issues. Let's see.
Anything that has a mintage of 10,000, it's all first day issue.
Right. Oh, well, exactly. Anything that sells out in 5 minutes, it's first day issue. Just the first day issue doesn't have anything to do with when the coin was sold. It has to do with when you get it to the grading company. You have to get it there in a certain amount of time.
And the original intention of that was to say that the coin was off an early die state. They were thinking that early in the year, the early releases would be better coins, would be better hubs, would be less worn, all this kind of stuff, and they ended up creating something entirely different.
Again, that assumes that they don't sell out in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else we got. Have you looked at the email lately? I sure have not logged into to the questions at coinshowradio.com lately. Let's see.
Questions.
Numismaniac, he loves our show despite being from all the way up in Edmond, Alberta, Canada. He is a member of the Edmonton Numismatic Society. Good on you.
Yeah.
Love that.
You know, that's a winter survivor.
Yeah, what is it? What's the temperature up there right now? I know it gets cold in Chicago and it gets cold in Indianapolis, but I can only imagine it gets pretty cold in Edmonton. Let's see. Justin says he wants a proof. I do too.
It is currently 36 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, that's not too bad.
They would call it 2 degrees.
It's not too bad. It's about the same.
Let's see.
Yeah, Justin says he wants a proof of the. I'm assuming he's talking about either the Morgan or the Peace Tower. I'm sure I'll buy me one of each just to have them. You know, that's kind of like my breadbasket. Those are coins that I love. I buy them and sell them every single day of the week. So I'm gonna have these in stock and probably have some of these just in my safe.
Yeah. I think that
I'm just glad they're coming.
Must have, and I'm glad that they did get it done.
Yes.
Look, they had the rest of the year to get it done anyway. They still could have got it done.
You know what, though? If you would have asked me if they were going to get that legislation signed, I sure as heck wouldn't have bet that it was going to happen.
It's going to happen.
So, yeah, that's the other thing. Hopefully the U.S. Mint website, hopefully they don't just limit the vintage to a few and people have to fight for them at the website, because that would just be terrible. Ugh, I'm tired of that already.
We do have a couple of questions at coinshowradio.com.
Shoot, let's
bring them. We have a question from Charlie.
Okay. Hi, Charlie.
Charlie from, let's see. Dear Mike and Matt, what are your thoughts on self-adhesive 2x2s? I like the clean look they present, but wonder if they're safe for long-term storage as their manufacturers claim. I'd like to think these companies won't produce products that would be harmful, but they also still make vinyl flips, so I can't be 100% certain. Thanks for your answer and the show. Keep up the great work, Charlie.
Good question, Charlie. You know, those companies always say that you know, that's fine for long-term storage, but have they stored anything in them for 20 years? No. So, I mean, they can do their best to make it out of stuff that should be safe over time. But, you know, a lot of things over time do degrade. Hopefully these companies do some sort of like trash testing or testing to where they really put it in extreme conditions for long amounts of time to see what happens. Because a lot of times when we see coins that have problems, it's because they were stored in an attic or a garage or somewhere that's not temperature controlled and humidity controlled. And that's the way a lot of coins and holders get eaten up. So, I would take the company for its word, but hopefully, I mean, you know, again, nobody has had anything in those holders for 20 years yet if they're a newer company. And
I'm much more of a practical person on this matter.
I like it, but I like it too.
I want to think about it from the standpoint of, think about the construction of the 2x2.
Right.
It's cardboard and it's Mylar. Okay. But the self-adhesive part, that's where the question becomes. Yeah. And where is that adhesive? Well, it's on the Mylar. So the chances of you getting it on your coin are exponentially higher when that glue is there
And it's literally right next to the coin. I mean, if you're putting the
So,
coin in and you drop it, it's stuck in it. So.
I mean, in my world, it doesn't really take anything to smash down the staples.
Yeah, but
Every
I
time
agree
I
with
put
them
something
though.
in a 2x2, I have a crimper.
Yeah.
And I flatten the staples as best I can.
I agree with them. I like the look of them though. That stapleless
I
look.
like
There's
the
just
look of them,
something
but
to
if
it.
you're really that concerned about it, you know, aren't you concerned about the glue?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm torn because I do like the look of them, but again, who knows what the heck they're putting in that glue and if it's going to be stable in 20 years. So.
And that's the thing, is you're talking about long term. So, yeah, they still make PVC flips, and you know, we still sell coins in PVC flips. It happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's just they're soft and they're less likely to lose your coin. That's
And I think a lot of the companies anyways do recommend that you do change your holders out periodically anyways. I think that most companies, if you called them and got their official statement, they would tell you, you know, you're every couple of years you should probably change these out anyways, just to be safe. But
yeah, I think that's a reasonable request.
Yeah. So good question.
So,
Maybe think.
No, that's sales. So yeah, that was pretty much it for questions at coinshowradio.com.
Well, cool.
Southern Coin. Let's see. I'd love to get one of each, but I doubt it's because my luck on the Mint's website so far has been.
I know.
Yeah.
I concur. All right. Well, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for participating in our questions tonight. It was fun talking to you.
I have a question for you, Matt.
Oh no, I hate it when you do this because I feel it coming, whatever it is.
Well, no, it's. Have you seen any real demand for W Mint quarters?
Yeah, I mean, I do get an occasional person asking about them. We have a few, just a handful of them in stock, and they don't stick around forever. So I guess there's people out there looking for them. It's not like people are beating down the doors for them, but the ones that have been in our boxes have been going out of our boxes, so we're selling them.
Okay.
I would not call it gangbusters demand, but I would call it a fair demand.
That's all I was curious.
There you go. Yeah. So, do you guys even put those out?
We don't have it.
I was going to say your highfalutin downtown business district establishment.
It's funny because I found a roll of what was it, Rockefeller, the 2020 one of the national parks. And I said to Bob, I said, hey, you know, look, I got these quarters. You want me to bring? And he's like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, you're worse than Matt.
Oh, no.
He is, too. He's worse than you. He poo-poos modern stuff until he sees dollar signs.
Well,
then he loves them.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's not me.
No.
Not me. Not me. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us and participating in this segment. So let's, are we going where I think we're going next?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, yeah, that's
no,
right.
Because we have a couple of we have another announcement.
Let's just do that. Make it now, Mike.
And this is actually news to Matt.
Oh God, this is what I'm scared of.
I've booked a guest for February 8th. That's our next. That's not our next show, but the show afterwards.
Okay, who are we talking to?
We are going to be talking to Beth Deischer.
Sweet.
Yes, former editor-in-chief of Coin World and author of Cash in Your Coins. The 4th edition is coming out.
Nice.
So she's coming to tell us there's a new chapter on counterfeits. Ooh. And Beth has been doing a lot of work with counterfeit detection and stuff like that. So that's kind of really coming into her wheelhouse too. And I think we might have a copy of her book to give away.
Awesome. That would be even better. Yeah. I love giving things away.
So we're gonna take questions live, you know, during the show from the peanut gallery for Beth. So if you have questions for Beth Deischer, show up February 7th and she will be here live with us.
7th or
8th? That would be the Saturday, so I think it's the 7th.
Let's just scroll.
6th.
February 6th. Well, I think you said the 8th first and then the 7th, and now it's the 6th. So
okay, well, you know what? So
one of those days, it'll be fine.
It'll be the 6th because we talked about the first Saturday.
Okay, first Saturday of February. There you go. Perfect.
Right. So it's the
So
6th.
start thinking of your questions, guys. We'll shoot them over to Beth, and it'll be great. We'll have a great time.
Yeah, and cash in your coins. I think, look, I've gone on record as saying I think it's one of the greatest books ever written.
Yes.
Because it really, really does do something very noble in helping coin collectors, or I should say non-collecting heirs of coin collectors, and helping them really get what they deserve out of their inheritance.
Cool. I love it. Awesome. Well, that's great. I'm excited for that, and I can't wait to do it. So
Absolutely, me too.
nice. Now it's time.
Now it's time
to get your butt kicked.
And now for the coolest thing to walk in this week. A competition segment between Matt and Mike to see who's had the coolest thing walk into their shops. Who'll win this episode? Let's find out. Matt? Mike? Who's got the coolest thing?
I love this little rivalry we have going on here.
Oh, absolutely. This is turning out to be fun on a new level. It's introduced trash talking between the two of us,
which has never happened before. Me and Mike get along swimmingly.
It's part of our friendship that we've always wanted to have, but it just wasn't there.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go first tonight.
Except for football. We do talk crap about football.
That's true. I'll go first tonight, since apparently yours is really awesome and you're going to blow me out of the water. So we'll see.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We'll see how we go here. So to the show, I'm bringing a really cool air coin. If you know me, if you've listened to the show for a long time, you'll know that I like air coins. And this one's pretty cool. So this is a Washington quarter. Unfortunately, the date's not showing because it wasn't struck on the planchet, but it is struck on a dime planchet. So, again, not super unusual. Those errors are kind of common. This one, however, is certified by NGC as Proof 67.
Now, okay, so let me get my head around this for a second, because is this a clad proof, or is this a silver?
It is a clad proof. It's struck on a clad proof planchet, 2.23 grams.
It just says the weight of the planchet. So, all right, Washington S, 25 cent. That is actually very cool. Now, what would make it cooler is if it had the date.
Well, of course.
And the mint mark. But an off planchet proof coin.
Yeah, this coin comes from that period in the U.S. Mint where there was some shenanigans going on.
No.
Yeah, sometime in the 70s, there was a fair amount of coin shenanigans going on at the Mint, and I think they actually broke up the ring of people that were responsible for this. But the story I've always heard with these is somebody was making them on the proof machinery, and then they would make a handful of fun little errors, and they would find a forklift zipping around the Mint, and they would walk over to the forklift while nobody was looking, and they would unscrew the oil cap, and they would drop the coins down into the oil pan of the forklift. And they had a friend who worked at the company that serviced said forklifts. So their friend would go into this oil pan and would remove all the coins that they made, successfully snuck out of the Mint, and then they would be kind of weaseled out onto the market. And that's where I think this coin probably came from.
Wow.
Yeah, fun, huh? Fun story.
It is cool. So how much contrast are we looking at? Because it looks like...
Oh, it's proof. It's a proof. It's definitely got the black and white.
It looks like it has a lot of contrast to it. The obverse is hard to see.
The pictures aren't wonderful. That's a hard coin to photograph, but I mean, it's definitely got the black and whites of a 70s proof coin. I mean,
both sides?
Both sides. I mean, it's not as frosty because it wasn't struck that well, and it probably wasn't struck twice. But yeah, definitely, you can definitely tell it's a proof coin for sure.
There's not enough metal to fill it, so it's not going to be struck
right
anywhere near as well. So
right, but you can definitely tell it's a proof. So it's a really, really fun coin. And in my opinion, one of the neater airs I've had in the last few years. I know I've showcased some pretty cool airs on this show, but I just wanted to bring another one.
And I have to tell you that is indeed very cool. That is very cool.
Yeah, I thought so.
But it's not quite as cool as this. So I will tell you a little story that we had a gentleman that,
Here's Mike's.
excuse me, walked into our store and he said he had talked to Bob and said that he had a note that he wanted to share with us and he wanted to see what we thought of it. So we took it in and we sent it off to our currency guy to have him examine it. It is a $5,000 note.
I hate you.
These are really super rare.
Yeah,
These are rarer than $10,000 bills. And it's mostly because the people that carried the large denomination notes like this wanted flash. And a 5,000 isn't anywhere near as flashy as a 10,000.
Yeah, it's only got 3 zeros instead of 4. You can get the same
Right.
flash with 1,000.
So the numbers on these are actually, much smaller. This note we unfortunately were unable to buy.
Oh, shoot.
We
That
made an
happens.
offer for it. We thought it was fairly strong. Trust me, we offered a lot of money for it.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
And the owner decided not to. This particular note, I would say, is XF details. It's got a fairly strong crease in the center, and there are 2 small tears in the note. Very small on the edge. One extended up to the edge of the design. I want to say the second one did as well.
Yeah, I could kind of see that one on the front there, just to the right of the 5,000 on the bottom left. But still, I mean, heck, that's.
I mean, how many of these do you actually see? That's the thing. So, I mean, the reverse of this note is just, I mean, it's spectacular.
Yeah, and it has the kind of lime green seal and letters. It's super cool.
Yeah.
Super duper cool.
Yeah, so I mean, when this came in, it was just kind of a no-brainer. Look, I've gotten kind of lucky in the fact that over the last few months, we have had some just really spectacular things walk in. A $29 $5 Indian, $5,000 bill, 19S, full bands, Merc. I mean, those are not everyday things.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say,
I know your history. And your history with this segment, you built this segment, and I know that there's some very, very cool stuff that walks in. It's not just downtown shops. So
no, I know. I'm just,
but yeah, this is ultra cool.
You could go to a small or a mid-sized show, and there won't even be one of these in the room. So
right,
that's why it's so rare and so scarce.
And this one's Series 1934, so it doesn't have any redemption in gold on it. It just says in lawful money. It was funny because we took it out to our currency guy who's retired, and then I had to go pick it up. And so when I got to pick it up, I took it home for the night and I brought it in the next day. So when I brought it in the next day, Bob asked me, he says, so did you look at the note? I'm like, are you kidding me? I hoard that thing all over town.
You kidding me? I cuddled with it in bed.
Yeah. Well, I had to show my wife. I mean, it's like, look, this is the only time you're ever going to see one of these. Remember who you married. This is the only time you're ever going to see it.
That's good. That's good. Well, that was a heck of a segment, I think, my friend. That's going to be tough for everybody to decide. That would be
tough. Now, you guys can vote. Where is it?
It's going to go up on Friends of the Coin Show. Friends of the Coin Show podcast.
Bring me victory once again. I got off to a little bit of a rough start, but
vote for the underdog.
Black eye, fat lip. We're giving Matt a couple of things.
That's all right. It's okay. Talking about building a segment, if you love it, you just got to let it go, and it's okay. It's all right.
God, I wish we could have bought it.
I know, because I have a customer who's been bugging me for one for a long time, and
trust me, moving those things, never a problem.
Yeah, they're super easy to sell. So,
and here's the question that I keep on getting into shop is, so after you buy something, people always look at you and they go, well, how much are you going to sell that for?
How much are you going to sell for? Yeah.
And it's like, so I had a lady that asked a little bit more tactfully today. She's like, so what kind of margin do you get on these? Yeah. And I looked at her and I said, look, if it's something I flip right away, I don't make as much, because I can turn it right away. But if I have to sit on something, I got to put the money away for a while. So I'm going to make a little bit more money on it. Yeah, it's just that simple.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I think is that it? Did we just hammer out another episode like that?
We blew through episode 178.
Wow, that's amazing. It's been an hour too. Look at that.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I've enjoyed hanging out with you tonight, buddy. I know
This show was a lot of fun, and I think the audio has gotten better.
we're working on it. We had a little hiccup last week or two, but I think it sounds pretty darn good tonight. I've been watching the levels and keeping an eye on things. So
Yeah. So Matt is sporting a fantastic Coin Show t-shirt,
Yep.
Coin Show podcast t-shirt
yeah,
that you can order
Yep.
on our website at coinshowradio.com.
yep.
100% of the proceeds go to Matt and Mike.
No,
No, I don't know.
we get a
what
little
it was.
kickback from the
Yeah,
merchandise company.
it's like $1.50 or something.
But we like to have our stuff out there for you guys
We
if
do.
you want it.
You know what I
So,
need? We need lanyards.
We do.
We need Coin Show podcast lanyards.
I
You
still-
know why? I just got a new loop, and so I was, festooning my lanyard with it. And I have my USB-C, which is a bowling thing,
Yep.
and that's fine. But I'd really like to have a Coin Show podcast.
We need to
lanyard.
get some. We need to get some made and give them away, or sell them for $1 or $2 or
And-
something.
Backgrounds.
Backgrounds.
Backgrounds. We need those.
We need backgrounds. I don't.
Now, if you'd like to hear more of this kind of stuff, this is the kind of stuff that we deal with on Not the Coin Show podcast, which is a fantastic little ditty that we do on the odd weeks of the Coin Show podcast. And you could pick up the hookup for the Not the Coin Show podcast by donating $5 a month through Patreon.
Yep. And if you guys noticed at the beginning of the show, I put up a new little graphic that shows everybody that is the silver level
All of
or
our
above.
patrons. All of
You
them.
guys are
Thank you.
amazing.
They are, and they're the reason why it sounds so good, why it looks so good, and why we're starting now to background, please, and why we're starting now to really kind of hit our stride with some of the content and stuff that we're starting to produce.
Yeah. I know Mike just got some bits and pieces he needed to start pumping out
Those
videos.
things are huge.
Yeah.
The pedestal on that thing is huge.
I know.
It's going to take up like half my desk.
I tried to. It had the measurements right on the box. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no.
We'll do this
I
on the other show. Like I said, we basically on that other show. We basically have production meetings. We have meetings talking about all the cool things that are coming for this show. For you guys, we've done challenges. There's been some hot sauce eating.
All the
and
challenges have been fun.
Legos stomped on,
Everyone knows.
and there's a lot of fun
And lots
different
of Matt
things.
misery.
Yes.
And if you're fond of misery on Matt's behalf, then that might be the show for you.
It's entirely possible. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate you hanging out with us. So I guess
Absolutely.
for the Coin Show podcast, I'm Matt,
I'm Mike.
and we'll talk to you guys next time on the Coin Show podcast.
You've been listening to the Coin Show podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nottelmann. The boys will be back soon with another informative and entertaining episode. Meanwhile, you can follow the show on social media at The Coin Show on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Coin Show. You can also join their private group. Just search Facebook groups for Friends of the Coin Show and request access. But if you want to take it to the next level and support the Coin Show podcast, you can go to www.patreon.com/The Coin Show. If you subscribe at the $5 a month level or higher, you'll have access to Not the Coin Show podcasts on the off weeks, as well as other surprises reserved for our patrons. Visit our website at coinshowradio.com or download our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts. This has been the Coin Show Podcast.